everybody, welcome to Jacob's Quest, and today I just finished watching episode 2 of Secret Invasion, and man, this show is, I love everything that's going on. I've heard some people say that they think it's a little boring and that it needs more action or more superheroes or anything like that, but I gotta tell you, I really love the slow burn spy thriller vibe that's going on. There's a lot of like political intrigue happening. I'm all about this. I love everything that's happening in this show. So yeah, this entire episode is the fallout of what happened at the end of episode 1. Obviously the giant explosion in Moscow, and yeah, Maria Hill is dead, and we get like this really tragic scene with her mom confronting Fury, and then Fury and Talos kind of have it out in the middle of this train, because you can tell Fury doesn't quite trust Talos, and to be honest, Talos is probably blinded by the fact that his daughter is working with the bad guys, and maybe he still thinks that, you know, she is on their side, but it seems pretty clear that it's kind of iffy right now, right? Like she is still working with the main bad guy here, Gravik, but you know, she's definitely kind of doing her own research and looking into stuff. I don't know if she's trying to figure out if her mom really did get killed by this group or not. It's still unclear exactly where her allegiances lie, but also she's kind of uncovering that they are building something, and I assume that this is what's going to give the Skrulls like superhuman powers. You know, I think this is where they're going to get some superpowers, like the Super Skrulls. I think we even saw a little bit in the trailers. There is a scene in the trailer, spoiler, where we see Gravik with like some kind of stretchy arm abilities. So, you know, I think that this is basically what's leading into them being able to take on the Avengers, because they even ask like, well, did you even think about what happens if they just call the Avengers, and like, what are we gonna do? Because, you know, the Skrulls have, you know, super strength and everything, but they're not Avengers, right? Like, they're not like at that level, so they could easily be taken out. Their big advantage is that they stay hidden. But anyways, yeah, this episode sees Gravik take on the entire council of Skrulls, the leading group that I guess Talos got kicked out of, and basically he just conquered them, and now he is the guy in charge of all the Skrulls that are here on Earth, which we learn is like 1 million now. Also, we just see an amazing scene between Nick Fury and Rhodey, and just their whole conversation that they're having, and they go into some interesting stuff. You know, they talk about like, oh, people who look like us getting into positions of power like this, and how we got to, you know, use that to, you know, like we're taking over the places of mediocrity, you know, mediocre people who didn't, you know, Alexander Pierce, they name drop him from Winter Soldier, the guy who was, you know, the Hydra guy inside Shield. Anyways, they have just this amazing conversation, and basically Rhodey's like, hey, you're fired, you're off the team, you can't do this on your own, let me handle it. Now, is Rhodey a Skrull? It's still unclear. It seems possible, right? It's possible he's a Skrull, but maybe not. Maybe, you know, like, this kind of felt like the real Rhodey. It didn't feel like, you know, it didn't feel like we were supposed to get the implication that was not him, or that he's been a Skrull the whole time. This very much just felt like, yeah, this is the same Rhodey that was for the Sokovia Accords and everything. Like, this is the same guy. So anyways, yeah, to get some fascinating stuff there, and then we kind of end it with, I suppose, the reveal that Nick Fury might have had a wife the entire time, which, of course, you know, it's like, well, yeah, super spy, we would never have known this. Kind of like the Hawkeye thing, right? Like that, maybe that kind of explains why he was able to help Hawkeye hide his family and everything like that. It's like, yeah, he has had a family the entire time, which makes sense that they would not be known. And yeah, that's kind of where we end things. You know, Talos' daughter is doing research. Talos is trying to have this big meeting with Gravik and have, like, you know, like, hey, let's talk about my daughter, but really I think he wants to try and attack him. We'll see how well that goes. I think we kind of see that in the trailers a little bit, how that meeting's gonna go. And yeah, Shield is at home. I mean, not Shield, but Nick Fury's at home with his wife, and let's see what happens next. But yeah, I love the slow burn thriller nature of it all. All of the dialogue scenes are amazing. The way they're all talking, and then just like this definitely feels like we don't get a look at the politics of Marvel that often. You know, it feels like very rarely, you know, only in your Winter Soldiers and Civil Wars do you really get a bigger scope of like what's happening. And so it's just nice, like you see like little news reels talking about what's going on in Moscow, and you know, it was Nick Fury doing this and Nick Fury is doing that, and you know, we just don't get that side that often of the world. So I don't know, I appreciate this Marvel. You know, it feels like we haven't seen this version of Marvel in a long time now, and I'm just glad to be back. You know, I love this vibe. You know, I love my Winter Soldier, Civil War type of Marvel. So it's cool, it's going. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all that happens. You know, we get a little bit of a prologue explaining like oh, they just, you know, we tried to find you guys a home and all we found was violence, and so we're just here, we're back on Earth, and you know, he made this agreement with all of the Skrulls that we'll find you a home eventually, and of course it just never happened, I guess. You know, interestingly enough, they only mentioned Carol Danvers like once, when it really felt like, shouldn't she be a bigger part of this? Like, wasn't she also like one of the main people who made this promise? But I guess she's just off planet, so there's not much the Skrulls can do to her. So anyways, yeah, just I love what's happening. I like this show a lot. You know, I know some people are, if you're still stuck on the whole AI opening theme little I don't know if you're still stuck on that, or if you think it's boring or whatever. I don't know what to tell you. I love everything that's happening. This is really cool. All right, I'll see you guys later. Bye.